Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. So today we're actually going to dive into the creative side of real estate with 615 Media. They have over 11 years of experience. Paul has built a real estate photography and videography company that's not only grown year after year, it's reshaping how homes are presented, marketed, and ultimately sold. So from cinematic video tours to aerial drone footage, these guys do it all. They capture properties in their best light. So 615 Media is setting the bar for high-end real estate marketing. So without further ado, welcome to the show, guys. Super excited to have you on. You and I were just both chatting a little bit before we started recording. So for those that don't know you, why don't you introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about your journey and what you guys are up to.
Yeah, so I'm Paul, one of the owners. Austin and I are co-owners of 615 Media. We've been in the industry for about 11 years. We both were very hesitant about getting into the real estate market. When we first started, it was before drones were really a thing. Kind of Austin was the innovative side of 615 Media for sure, and I'm more of like the face relationship type guy. So we work well together from that standpoint. I think when you're growing a business, that's what you're looking for, is someone with a creative space, and then someone that isn't hesitant about walking up to somebody and having that conversation. And I think a big thing with us has been being persistent. So stay persistent with your clients. Make sure that you're top of mind. Make sure that you're giving them a quality product. When we first started, Austin was building drones. You didn't have to have the drone license, and then the FAA kind of cracked down on that. When they started doing that, we really pumped the brakes and was like, is this really something that can be a career,
Scalable.
right? And scalable, something that we can grow, something that we could see ourselves, providing a future for our families and other families. My background is heating and air, so I did a lot of the Broadway downtown Nashville, probably about 35-40% of Broadway I did the heating and air on. So I had a fairly good career there, and at that time I had 2 kids. So stepping away from that was a big hesitation for me. Um, I'm providing a great value for my family, and this real estate thing, right? Like photos, really? Like, is that really going to be what's going to send us to the next level?
Right.
And then we really just found, Austin got his drone license and started really putting boots on the ground. And in the meantime, I was calling agents and cold calling. I still cold call to this day. Like, that's so many people get away from the basics, and I think we all need to go back to the basics and go back to shaking hands and I say kissing babies. So the real estate world is very relationship based, and that's what we found our business on. And Austin's really been the creative guy on that. So
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I was in school for architecture, and I had just gotten accepted to the architecture school at UT. So my parents were not super thrilled when I said, "Not going to do that. We're going to go do this business thing." And yeah, luckily it worked out, but they were definitely questionable at the time.
Yeah, for sure, right? Everybody's questioning you, how are you going to make it? Do you have a plan? Like, what's your strategy? all these different things. But it's like, this is the thing when you have, unwavering faith in what you're doing, it's going to work out. Doesn't matter what you're going through, right? How hard it's going to be. And I know you mentioned, Paul, to you, even your family. It's like, damn, stepping away from this, it's tough, going out to the unknown, right? But
Yeah.
you seem like you already had, great progress with that, building relationship with people. And as you said, I mean, real estate is all real estate, centric, focused on just relationships, right? So I'm curious. I mean, when you first were getting started, can we talk a little bit about the early days, right? How did you guys build your book of business? Can you talk about maybe, some struggles that you guys went through, and ultimately now, I mean, you scaled to, a pretty high level, 32 employees. You're one of the largest in the country when it comes to this. So, I mean, why don't you talk a little bit about, your early days, and talk about, from there, how did you scale to where you are now?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah. So when we first started, I was just cold calling, giving out free shoots. If you go on our YouTube channel, we actually focused really hard on YouTube, and we've kind of just let it die off. But if you go to the very beginning of YouTube, we were the only people. We had a GoPro strapped to a Toyota Tundra going through trails. Like
Oh
we're
man.
capturing this property for this agent because no one else can do it. And I think that cultivated like something within us where we're like, hey, this is something that we're willing to do anything, and we're willing to go above and beyond where other agencies are going to be saying, no, that ain't for me, and passing the baton to the next person that's going to step up. And that's something where we were like, man, if you look at those videos, they're bad off compared to what we deliver now. But that's something that we've always wanted to do. And I've pushed Austin because he's a little more introverted from that standpoint, and I've put him in some weird situations, and he's thrived, and he's done the same thing to me as far as like learning the cameras and understanding, what I'm talking about, and that's really helped us. So in the early days, I'm calling, I'm working, and doing stuff, and then he's actually doing a paper route during the night, and then going doing shoots in the afternoon. We were both editing our own stuff, and the grind was very real. I had my wife looking at me saying, like, "Really? Why are you doing this? Like,
Yeah.
you're making six figures doing heat and air. The last year I was making multiple six figures doing heat and air, and it's like you're gonna take a huge pay cut, like to not even six figures to
Mhm.
do this. Like, and I think that's the biggest risk that people aren't willing to take. And like I said, I had two kids at the time, and I'm making a little over 200 grand, and then I'm going to 60,000. And
Mm.
that's a surreal moment of like, are we really going to make this thing work? And it's like, we don't have a choice. We have to. Right. So I think as an entrepreneur, a lot of people don't have that drive, or they're too scared to make that jump. And what I would say to those people is like, you only get one opportunity. So you better step out of your comfort zone and get ready to be uncomfortable. Even today, with the business we've built, we're still uncomfortable in a lot of situations.
Mm.
That when we hire an employee, we look at it because we put them on salary. Unlike everybody else, they're putting them on 1099. That's for a business owner, that's a safe bet. We're we're not interested in safe bets all the time. We're interested in protecting the people we really entrust in and really care about, which is our employees, which help us grow our business. So we're putting our neck out there and saying, "Hey, we're going to provide you the salary," because in the wintertime we really take a hit, right?
Mhm.
Anybody in this space knows that. Real estate agents, I think, control that a little bit. I think that in their mindset, nobody's moving, so they mentally take a break. So that also affects us, where people still need a house during the Thanksgiving, Christmas time. But when agents check out, that's why it really slows the market. I think I've talked to an agent that's a high volume agent, and his best year was December. And
Wow.
I think that's to him just being proactive and making those calls, making those dials. And we shoot for him, and I'm like, man, how did you do that? And he's like, no one else is doing it right now. So I
Hmm.
think agents do control the market from that standpoint. And when I reflect back on that, I'm just thinking, man, that's what we do for our employees. We'll not get paid before we don't pay them type thing. So that I think that's what makes us different and why we've been able to scale. We've seen photographers that work with other companies that's been with them for several years and really great photographers, and the photographers hold relationships and they end up coming to join us because they're like, man, you're giving us a salary, you're giving us a gas card, you're giving us equipment. Like that's a huge lift for them and the security piece too, right? So
Hmm.
in the wintertime, oh, I'm getting a paycheck. It don't matter if I'm shooting or not. And we've had several photographers not shoot. And, we've been having some tornadoes here and bad weather in Tennessee. And, they're getting paid. They're sitting at home getting paid. And that's just where we have their back, just like we have our agents' backs and our clients' back, right? We really support that and stand behind it where, that, and I think that's what started us from the ground up.
Oh man, I love
Yeah,
that
so
story. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think a lot of like photographers in the space, they get distracted early on because it's easy. Like you get a camera, you're like, oh, I can do weddings, I can do corporate events or whatever. So I think the biggest thing about us is like we were just laser focused on real estate and
Mhm.
didn't let ourselves get distracted with all these other things you can get into. Because ultimately, in real estate, like it's more scalable than like weddings and stuff like that. So we're like, this is what we're doing, and we're gonna stick to this, and all the distractions, like, nope. So I think that's been huge for us and
I
focus for
love
sure.
that. I love that. I want to talk about, how do you ensure, when you're doing your visuals, right? You're going through your creative process. How do you ensure that, when you're going through that, that it tells a story, right? And how does that emotionally connect with, because obviously you help your agents with this, but how do you differentiate, your creative process compared to what other people are doing in the industry?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I think a lot of that falls on editing now,
Mhm.
more so just uh, engaging edit versus like traditionally. I don't know if you watch real estate videos, but they're just super slow hands through a house, and
Boring.
um,
Mhm.
you're asleep by the end of the video. So in the last couple of years, we really tried to innovate on the just keeping it upbeat, doing a lot more like social media type vertical stuff,
Mm.
and then a lot of agents will do multiple videos now instead of just one. So they'll tell a story and like kind of do a drip campaign on social media for a listing or whatnot. So that's kinda how we things are structured now, and then a lot of it is more of the agent branding now as opposed to just the house. So, the agents might get 1 or 2 listings, but they can they can brand themselves any day of the week, so
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So what do you wish, more real estate agents, understood about, photography, and videography role in selling homes? Because obviously, it's the biggest thing, right? I mean, if you have something captivating that someone can see and be like, wow, like I have to work with this person, right? I mean, that's going to draw that attention. What do you wish more real estate agents understood, how much important that aspect is?
So on that, I would say every agent, when you schedule your photographer, whether it be us or anybody in the country, would be having your mindset and having your client's mindset. This is the first and most important showing that this home is ever going to get. When they put that on the MLS, it hits Zillow, wherever it may go. 20,000 plus people are going to see this. Why are we not taking the loofahs out of the shower? Why are we not moving the ugly trash cans in the kitchen? Why are we leaving the toilet seats up? The photographer with us in our company, we strive to make sure that those things are tucked away and taken away.
Mhm.
Trash cans removed, all that stuff. We allow 15 to 20-ish minutes to redo the house and help guide the agent or homeowner. Because something else that us as, media agencies or whatnot, for the agent may not be there, but it may be that homeowner's first time ever moving, and it's their most valuable asset. So handling that with care on our side is very important. So you have to be careful from our standpoint to kind of tippy toe a little bit to not hurt someone's feelings. Like, hey, that rug is kind of ugly, but you ain't going to say that. You say, hey, let's move this rug. It's really going to show the nice tile floor or the hardwood floor or whatever it may be. So having the agent understand how important that is and relaying that to their client is very important. I think making sure all the lights are on, making sure the blinds or level and all of them match, because when I take the photo outside, if one's shut and one's open, it looks kind of silly. So for us, we try to catch that and make sure that happens. But that's what I would say, like, number one, that's the first thing as an agent you need to understand. This is the most important showing you're ever going to get. Make sure it hits the market in the right light. Make sure you're using somebody that's going to keep your brand consistent. That's something why we went the way we did, was because with us and our editors in-house, we're able to make sure everything's consistent. We're all shooting with the same lenses, the same cameras, the same everything. So when we get that product back, your brand stays the same. That's important. Whenever you're an agent and you list something on the MLS, it's public now, and that's part of your database. That's part of your like package. Like when somebody's looking for you, they're looking at, oh, what's your past history? Let me see some listings you've listed before. If they're not perfect and you're trying to get a million, 2 million, 3 million, 25 million, $30 million home, there that homeowner is looking at that. And if you think that you're going to win the listing over someone that comes in well prepared and has that consistency, yeah, I think you're mistaken. I think you need to when you start your brand, you start it off right and you keep going. And something that we introduced was listing insurance during COVID. And it was something where agents, we kept constantly hearing, I would do this, but the price. I would do this, but this. And during COVID, everybody was buying sight unseen. And the guaranteed offer, or an offer no one can resist, from Alex Hormozy, right? Austin and I were in the truck driving from Georgia. We was doing a big land shoot in Georgia. And he was like, hey, here it is. And we came up with this listing insurance, and it's through us. It's not through a third party. It's directly through us, saying, hey, if you believe that you can sell the listing and you use us, we believe our quality of work can help you sell the listing. If it don't sell, you get fired, it expires, whatever it may be, just let us know and we'll reimburse you. So we really stand behind, our quality of work, and agents were like, oh, that's awesome. So now then they was bumping up to video, and that helped agents also understand like how valuable video is. So that's something else that I think agents need to understand. Like that, I pick vertical video over social media or horizontal video, because when you list something as an agent and you're doing that horizontal video, it doesn't look good on social media, where that vertical really shines on social media.
I agree.
And when you put that horizontal on MLS, well, who has access to that? The consumers don't. If you have a real estate license, you do. So your customers, or your potential buyers, are on social media. They're on Facebook. They're not on the MLS. So why are we shooting it for MLS for the other agents to see? That agent that may have a buyer may not like you, and they're not showing their client. But if their client sees it on social media, they're going to say, hey, I want to see that house. So I think social media is a big oversight for a lot of people, where they need to pay a little more attention to that. If it's 2 million plus or 1.5 million plus, I think you need to do both. So that would be my kind of little bits.
No, I love that. So let's walk through the process, right? When you're working with a new agent that's just coming on board with you guys, could you explain your process and how are you setting them up? How does your process fully work when an agent wants to come on board with you guys? How do you set them up for success?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, so usually they'll call in or they can book online. So I mean, this can be a completely automated process on their behalf. But if they do have questions and want to do more of the high end stuff, yeah, they call us. We just kind of ask them what they're looking to do. Is it more of that? Some agents have $250,000 homes and the marketing budget's pretty low, so we're just going to send. We're just going to do photos on that one. But if they do want to go all out, I mean, we have packages up to $3,000 to $4,000. So if they want to do all that, we're just walking through like, what do you want to accomplish here? Do you want 10 social media videos? Do you want one long form? So it's really, we're just trying to tailor it to whatever. It's usually the price point that we're trying to tailor to. So.
I think a lot of agencies look at this as like a sales process. Like, and I also see a lot of other coaches, and I think this is a misunderstanding from a media agency perspective, in my opinion, which whatever that means, but, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at all these coaches and all these other people saying, hey, you need to get your AOV up, average order value, for anybody that may not know what that term is. So, you need to get your AOV up. That customer's only getting photos, like upsell them. And I think agents try to get sold so much, right? They got the home inspector, they got the stager, they got the appraiser, they got all these other people mortgage company, loan officer, all of them hammering them all the time, trying to sell them something. So I think it rubs people the wrong way when I'm calling you and saying, hey, I noticed you just got photos on this package. I really want to see if you'd be interested in getting photos plus. It includes all this extra stuff. It's only $50 extra dollars or $100 or whatever. And they're like, God, every time I book with you guys, you're trying to sell me something more, and from our perspective, like, I understand from their perspective a little bit because their photographers are getting paid commission based off of what they shoot, whatever. So then they're not only getting it from the office, but now the photographer on site is trying to sell them something too. And it's like, man, I can't win with you guys. So then they come to us and it's like, these guys aren't just trying to sell me something. I'll walk into a house that may be completely vacant and they got photos and video. And I'll say, hey, agent, I think your money is well spent doing virtual staging versus doing this video, because the video is just vacant. People don't really see, what can actually visualize, what can actually fit in here. So in my opinion, you should do for some virtual staging, and it will maybe even save them money in that situation versus, or be the same. It's usually the same or less. And I'm like, I want to add value and I want people to come in that door. Our main goal is to get that front door open, and you as the agent is to sell the property. So when you use us, that's what you can expect. Your phone will ring, people will come in the door. We're not going to shoot every little nook and cranny, and we're not going to show the hole in the wall, because if I show the hole in the wall, somebody from a perspective of a buyer, they're going to be like, oh, they trashed that house. Where if I can get them in the door, as an agent, you can say, hey, we're writing that up in the offer. That will be completely fixed. You'll never know it was there. So that's more of our approach. We're gonna give and sell what is needed for the property as an agent is growing. And we also understand where they're at in their journey, right? You're a new agent. Okay, let's start here. This is your first listing. Oh, that's really nice. So you might want to start here and really pitch them what they need, not what you would love to sell them. I see multiple agencies saying, "Oh, I just upselled somebody from 500 to $1,500." Well, that's great, but if they feel screwed, then at the end of the day, then they're not going to use you again. And that client is worth more to retain than it is to get a little extra dollar from them right now. So that's what I would say. That's kind of our approach, and we always, at the end of the year, I call every one of our clients every single year, try to just follow up with them and say, "Hey, thank you so much for using us. Is there anything we could do better in the new year?" That's it. I'm not selling them nothing. I'm just calling to follow up. And I have agents that has used us since the beginning say, "I cannot believe you still do this," and it makes me feel
Wow.
great. And I think that's a missed opportunity as agency owners and people in the industry. Even if you're a real estate agent or a builder, you worked with a client, follow up with them. Follow up with them.
No,
Getting a little time consuming now, 3,000.
Yeah, yeah. I've currently built out a sales team now, but this is the first year I've had a sales team. But we got a little over 3,400 clients, so
wow.
it definitely took me about 2.5 weeks last year to call everybody every day. I was dialing, which I'm putting in a dialer, but still I'm calling them and I'm talking to them. I'm leaving them a voicemail if they're not picking up. And that's important. That's what I'd never want to lose is the touch of, hey, these people care. These people, no matter if you did spend $200 or $100, $50 to, $100,000, I don't care where you're at in the spectrum. I appreciate your business. And I think that's what everybody should feel like. It's not, hey, I'm giving this person more treatment because they spend this much money. Everybody's in a different journey in life. So treat everybody the same way and it will come back.
100%, right? They say when you give, you shall receive, right? But a lot of people are focused on more, like you said, the transactional aspect up front. How can I upsell this person? How can I get, all these different things? And it's like, you got to lead with value, man. You really got to just be upfront with somebody and just be their friend and try to set them up for their possible best position, right? And really just take a step back on that, right? And just nurture and just be there, right? And it's no coincidence, obviously, in the success you guys have built because you put relationships as the number one priority. So that's what I wanted to ask you as well, too. I mean, you got 32 over 32 employees, you got 3,400 clients. My first question to the clients aspect: how are you managing 3,400 plus clients? Doing that, like what type of systems do you guys have in place? How does that work for you guys? I'm curious.
Yeah, the systems have definitely been the biggest
Mhm.
pain point, especially once you get over that this millionish mark.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of what we do, I mean, the photographers have the relationship on site and whatnot, and then our staff over here in the office kind of keep it on the scheduling, and they need everything. So just making sure that people can always get a hold of us. We just hired another phone person. I don't ever want people waiting more than like 5 minutes for
Sure.
to get a hold of us, especially when they need something ASAP. So that's been huge. We recently updated our what is that system? We just switched over to
Zendesk.
Zendesk, so that's helped a lot on the just the ticketing, making sure nothing gets missed. And then our CTO has been phenomenal in this, and he's been able to. I guess he has a. And I'm not a code person, but he has a server that's making all of our systems talk together. So when a shoot gets booked, it goes in there to the editors, and they can see who shot it, and does the client have any specific notes or preferences on how they like stuff edited. So that's been huge. Having a CTO on staff. Before that, we used Zapier, so it's not like a big
Mm.
business couldn't do these things, or a small business couldn't do these things. So Zap was huge back in the day. And then, yeah, I mean, just having, we use Aereo for like scheduling and stuff. It's just, and then getting all these systems to talk to each other, I think is the biggest pain
Yeah.
point. And
Mm.
that's,
I think having Carl, which is our CTO, I think that's another thing. Like agency owners are scared to make hires, right? Like it's like if I hire this person, he's six figures, right? So it's like
Right.
if I hire this person, you ain't getting no CTO any less than six figures. I can promise you. Not anybody that knows what they're doing. So but me and Austin are like, hey, we rather get our raise later. We see the future, right? See the
Mhm.
future as an entrepreneur. See the future. When you hire those key players, know that they're gonna serve you more purpose than getting that little nugget right now. Pass that on. Let that person shine for you, and that's been a huge, like Austin said, huge for us. Like he's been able to tie in so many things and automate things that if he were not in place, we would have to have 2 to 3 more people.
Mm.
So then as a business owner, by hearing that now, think about that. Like, right? So I'm going to have 3 people, or I can hire the CTO. Those 3 people are going to cost more than the CTO.
Yep.
Um, those 3 people may solve the problem right now, but that CTO may need 2 to 3 months at least to get that system built out. So yeah, your clients don't know any different right now. So go ahead and make that key hire, let him start building those processes, and then it's streamlined. I know AI's, started coming a long ways too. So we haven't introduced a ton of AI in our systems yet. We do have AI photo, video editing we just introduced, but we haven't introduced a ton of that yet. But that's where the CTO comes in, where he can start practicing with that, making sure it's good, making sure it's hitting the marks before you introduce silly stuff to your clients. I think, as a business owner, it's easy to see new shiny object, plug it in, and then it might irritate your customers. So make sure whatever you're pushing out, is going to be what you need. So having those systems and processes in place, and then now we have a follow-up process, and within the sales team I just built out, we have a follow-up process, what that looks like. If this client books and they're a new client, we're going to follow up. If this client booked, and we're going to follow up and make sure they're happy with the stuff. As a smaller business owner, you probably don't have the time to touch all those touch points right now. But if you would go ahead and hire that next photographer and free up some more of your time, you would have that time. So in every business we went to go hire, as a larger business, we're, you know, anywhere from 10 to 20% margins, right? So as a smaller business owner in this industry, they're at 35 to 45% margins. So when we approach them to join us, they're like, "Well, you have to pay me 200 grand." Well, that ain't never going to work. So that's where they will always stay where they are if they don't build out processes and take a pay cut. So what I would say, that's been a big thing for us is we've always hired people before we gave ourselves a raise if we see a need in that. So hire those key hires, have your systems, have your processes. And there was something that came up yesterday. We was talking to the CTO and like trying to get something figured out. And he was like, "Well, I'm just trying to make sure, it was like $20 a month or something, and we're like, "Just do it." And he was like, "Are you sure we should do that?" Because he's looking out for the money. But we're like, that $20 a month is going to make us thousands of dollars a month. So just go ahead and do it. So that's where our mindset more so is like we're looking at the future. So you have to stay looking at the future. If you stay looking at right now, how much money can I put in my pocket right now?
Yep.
You're not going to scale and you're not going to grow.
That's it. And you want to give your clients the best experience, right? What you guys are
Yep.
already doing, right? So everything at top tier level. Well, guys, man, I wish we honestly had another hour to talk about some more topics that I've put together, but unfortunately we don't. So I want to give it to you guys. Where do people need to reach out to work with you? Where can people find you? And just talk a little bit about, your process about that.
Yeah, so if you're in Tennessee or South Texas, you can work with us on a pro level, just 615.media and 615.media on Instagram is where we mainly post. And then anyone else, agents across the country can use our app. We have a mobile app where you take them on your phone, and our team here post-processes the images, and they look pretty good. So you can also do floor plans on that app. So and that's called List Kit. So List Kit, if you're outside of Tennessee and Texas, and then 615 if you're inside Texas and Tennessee. So
And you can still get like also said, you can get the floor plan, you can get digital twilight, we can virtual stage, and all those images are still getting hand edited by us. So the quality's still going to be there. We're Photoshop you out of mirrors, make sure the photos are level, but it is only for iPhone. So make that clear.
sorry, Android users.
Awesome, guys. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you both jumping on and sharing all the value, sharing everything you guys are doing. It's incredible what you guys have built, and I'm just wishing you guys nothing but the best in your future endeavors. Guys, be sure to reach out to 615 Media. We'll definitely be sure to drop all the info in the description so you know exactly where to find them and to reach out to. But again, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Wish you nothing but the best, and take care, everybody.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show. Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.